What comic book characters that are oceanic in nature are the strongest and, more importantly, the coolest? Well, Aqualad, aka Kyrwan, is an instant classic for anybody that's seen Young Justice. I personally fell in love with this character fucking immediately after seeing him on screen. He's so lovely. Natural born leader, talented Atlantean, skilled warrior, just checks all the boxes for a good character. But we've got a couple other big name Atlanteans that I'd like to talk about. Of course, we have the other Aqualad, aka Tempest Garth, who is mostly known for his role on the Titans. I think he fits into that team dynamic equally as well as the other Aqualad, if not better, especially in the Titans specifically. His dynamic with Wally and mostly Dick Grayson I find to be very compelling. And of course, there's Aquagirl, who has fought alongside the Aqualads and Aquaman and has shown up on Young Justice as well. Now, these Atlanteans have some very interesting and diverse powers for just being underwater folk. They have the classic improved strength and endurance from living underwater in that intense pressure environment, and some of them can even do magic, manipulate water, talk to fish like you probably know about from Aquaman. Really, their powers are just all over the place. It's kind of interesting. Lagoon Boy, aka Eric Larson, is an interesting fishy looking individual who was shunned and eventually accepted into Atlantean society, and he is also in Young Justice and plays a role in the 3rd season of that show. Lagoon Boy's powers are basically just being tough and being quick and turning into a cool pufferfish like that one dead meme that nobody talks about anymore. Now let's shift course just a little bit from DC and mostly Atlanteans to some Marvel characters with oceanic powers. This is Triton. He is an Inhuman. He's a part of the royal family of Inhumans, which means that he's a pretty big fucking deal. He's got all your traditional underwater powers, strength, durability, breathe underwater, blah blah blah. But most interestingly, he cannot really breathe air. When he's out in the air, he'll fucking die. He's much more of a literal fish than the Atlanteans from DC are. The main player for Marvel is of course Namor, the king of Atlantis, very much like Aquaman. Very much like Aquaman. But interestingly, Namor is actually one of the first superhero characters to ever be published ever. He's so old that he was published by Marvel back before Marvel wasn't even their name. Namor has a very interesting power set on top of the traditional oceanic abilities that we've already covered, but don't mind me as I literally read them as they have some pretty fucking weird names. He has echolocalization, telepathy, healing, atmakinesis, which is weather abilities, kind of like Storm from the X-Men, and he can fucking fly. He has flight. He has little gills on his feet that allow him to fly. They're fins, not gills. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, he has fucking wings on his toes. It's crazy. Namor's nuts. And I know I kind of skimmed over echolocalization, but it's basically what eels do to sea. Alright, that's literally all of the interesting Marvel oceanic characters that I care to talk about, so let's move over to one from the Hellboy comics. If you know anything about Hellboy, you already know that I'm going to talk about Abe Sapien. This guy's of course able to breathe underwater and blah 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 blah, but he's also just a badass fighter, and that's really what sets him apart in my eyes. And on top of that, he's also probably just fucking immortal and cannot die. He's died twice in 220 years and just came back both times like it was a casual thing, like it didn't matter. He's pretty cool. Alright, back to DC now. King Shark. He's a big fucking shark. That's really all there is to know about this guy. You probably know him from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, or if you're less fortunate, the Flash TV show. Black Manta, a very classic Aquaman villain, is a very interesting oceanic character because he does not have those traditional oceanic powers. He relies mostly on his intellect and his technology, and he is also one of the very few comic book characters that has autism. Funny side note about the autism thing, while I was doing research for this video, I stumbled across this comic book panel that alludes to the fact that when Aquaman cured Black Manta's autism, he somehow just wasn't evil anymore, and the autism was the villain. That's so bad. What the fuck, comics? And last but not least, of course, we've got DC's Aquaman, mostly known as Jason Momoa in the DCEU. And here's the fucking thing. Jason Momoa wishes he could be half as badass as Arthur from the comic books. He's so cool. He rivals Superman on multiple occasions and is of equal power level. Is that a bold statement? Yeah. He's got literally all of the power set that we've talked about from DC's Atlanteans so far, and then some. He's really fucking strong. He can do magic. He can connect himself to the life force of other living beings. He can revive fallen gods. I wish I was joking. But this bitch can't fly, so Namor's still cooler, let's be real. Now, as you may have noticed, I am talking a lot about oceanic characters in this video, and there's a reason for that. You also might have noticed that this video has a bunch of TeamSeas hashtags in the description and the title. I'm in different clothes now. TeamSeas is attempting to raise $30 million in order to literally remove 30 million pounds of trash from the oceans and the beaches and the seas. That's a huge amount, and that's a big difference. Every single dollar that you donate removes 1 pound of trash from the oceans, the beaches, and the seas. I don't know about you guys, but the reason that I like superheroes so much is because they emulate how I feel I should act most of the time, and they give me this sense of pride and accomplishment for what humans can be in the way that they act, and not in the powers that they have or the ridiculous suits that they wear, but in how they act. So join me and be like our oceanic heroes and try to save the oceans. TeamSeas donate link in my description and in my pinned comment. You cannot miss it. Please go donate.